Bless the Lord, brothers and sisters. So happy to be back yet again. I thank God for this awesome opportunity to share with you. I thank God for allowing me to talk about different subjects, relevant subjects that affect different people all over the world. This is a subject that hits home for me, if you would, literally and physically. And the reason why it hits home is not because I'm in an abusive marriage or an abusive relationship right now, but I do understand and have experienced domestic violence. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know the statistics. Generally, about 1 in 4 women all over the world suffer in silence or suffer from domestic violence. About 1 in 14 men go through or experienced or suffer from domestic violence. So this is not just a woman thing, because we know that there are some women out there, okay, that abuse their husbands, abuse their boyfriends, abuse their fiancés, abused men. And any and all type of violence is not appropriate. Any and all type of violence is not okay. So I want to talk about this subject specifically because just last night I had a dream. And the dream was that my son was going to, it was like a school or daycare. And after we were going home, this one particular guy, I'm not quite sure if this guy worked at the daycare or something like that, but this guy somehow was in the dream in that he was liking me. And I was trying to avoid him. I was trying to, kind of hint to him that I'm not interested. But somehow I'm not quite sure if he worked for the school, because in the dream there was other kids going to my house or something like that, including my son in the dream. So this one particular perpetrator, this guy that was supposed to like me, but I know that it was a demon in the dream. But just go with me just for a second. This guy tried to kiss me. And he said if I don't kiss him, no, he didn't say if I don't kiss him. What happened was he actually choked me. After he was trying to kiss me, he actually choked me in front of, hear me, in front of the children. And I could hardly breathe. And, I gave in. I said, okay, just do it. Brothers and sisters, just talking about the dream brings back so many memories. When I felt choked in a dream, I tell you what, that choke was so scary. It hurt physically. And I kind of wanted it over with and done. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of women, and I'm just speaking from my perspective, when they are abused, both physically and psychologically, they just want it over. You understand what I'm saying? They know that it's about to happen. They just want it over and done with. In other words, they want to be able to see another day. They want to psychologically mask or forget this is even happening. But it's deeper than that, brothers and sisters. I want to get deep today. I want to talk about domestic violence. I thank God that I'm no longer in a relationship that is of abuse. But I tell you what, I have daughters. I have 2 daughters and I have a son. And I don't want them to be involved in any type of relationships that are dangerous, unhealthy, or toxic. I don't want them to be a perpetrator. I don't want them to be a victim. Truth be told is that this stuff is going on in the world today. I don't care what country you're from. I don't care from what nationality you're from. This goes on every single day. Brothers and sisters, I was brought up, hear me clearly. And I'm not, trying to lie about it. My mother was abused. Oh yeah. I was brought up in a home where I seen, God rest my father's soul. My father, abused physically my mom. And my mom, trying to abuse my father. That in retaliation, not necessarily, her trying to beat him up just haphazardly or just physically abusing him, just in self-defense, if you would. And I remember my mother having a knife. And I remember being in the middle of a toss and turn and me trying to, probably at 10 or something like that, getting in the middle of it so that my mother don't stab my father while they both was high. Not on crack or anything, but, alcohol. I mean, I've seen a lot, y'all. I've seen a lot. And the truth of the matter is, I never thought it would happen to me. I never thought it would happen to me. I always would say, and always would see a lot of women and say, why do they stay? And, he going upside her head. Why don't she just run away? And why is she just letting this person? But brothers and sisters, it's deeper than that. We have to literally pray and be a little bit more sensitive to these women. I'm not saying that, hear me. I'm not saying that them staying, okay, is a good idea. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, unless you are in the circumstance, unless you are involved or exposed to that type of toxic environment, okay, you don't know firsthand in other words, you're an outsider looking in. And common sense is common sense, nevertheless. And I'm not saying that a lot of women need to leave, because for me, as far as my marriage, how it happened to me and what I went through is that I, of course, didn't expect it to happen. It wouldn't happen all the time. In other words, my ex-husband wouldn't beat me all the time. He I guess his abusive choice was choking me. And it was one particular time that he choked me. I thought I was gonna die. He choked me so bad on the floor that I literally thought I was going to pass out unconscious. And what it was it was a type of love, or toxic love, where emotionally, I guess before I even got into a relationship with this man, it was a gradual progression of psychological abuse. In other words, usually, or sometimes, the perpetrator would, try to isolate the woman from the family, or it's a situation where he will psychologically make that woman feel ugly or fat, or, no one loves you like I do. And, a lot of times the perpetrator will, have sex as a weapon and, try to mentally twist her mind where I love you, I won't do it again. I mean, it's just so many different types of variables, and I'm not justifying abuse, but I'm just letting you know that a lot of these women do want to leave. A lot of these women don't want to be in abusive relationships like that. But sometimes circumstances are in the way. Sometimes they feel that if they do leave, the guy's going to kill me. And there's a lot of deaths after women leave. They know so much about you. They know how to track you down. And especially if you're in a situation financially, when you got kids, and it's just, like I said, it's a lot of different variables. But I'm not going to get so much in that realm. I'm just going to tell you that God gave me, I believe, this dream for a reason, to talk to my subscribers, my listeners, about the fact that abuse is abuse is abuse. And no matter if it's done from a male or a woman, it's not of God. It's a demonic entity that's provoking that person, okay? And a lot of it is not only that demonic spirit, it's just the fact of that person is sometimes abused as well. In other words, if they are abused as children, if they view a lot of abuse, or if they are abused physically as children, they grow up being abusers as well sometimes, okay? So it's just a lot of different variables that are involved, but pay attention to the signs, brothers and sisters. Pay attention to the signs. I mean, I could tell you this, and I'm because I'm going to keep it all the way real on my channel. It was a red flag on the first day that we got married. I was 6 months pregnant with my first daughter when I got married to my first husband. And I'm not quite sure. Sometimes people do this as a tradition. They put money on the woman's dress as a, just for prosperity or whatever the case is. But that's what I had. They was like pinning money to my dress as I got married, as a gift, as a love gift or whatever. And everybody went home, and as we were counting the money, my ex-husband, I was in the bathroom and I saw like on the peripheral of my husband taking the money off the dress, counting the money, but yet taking some of the money and stashing it in the couch as if he was hiding or stashing money for himself. I confronted him. I was so shocked that I was like, what the heck is he doing? But that was that first red flag on our wedding day. And when I got married, I was 6 months pregnant. When I got married, I was crying profusely. It was just like, I wasn't saved at the time, but it was like something innately in me knew that this was not of God. This was not ordained by God. Now, I'm not saying that our children are a mistake or anything like that. Our children are covered by the blood of Jesus, innocent bystanders, things of that nature. They were divinely made and fearfully and wonderfully made. I love my babies, all of them. But what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the handwriting is on the wall from the beginning, in the dating stage. And sometimes, if you're not alert, if you're not aware, if you're not paying attention, if you're so caught up on love and the emotional, sometimes people get in relationships because they want to be with somebody. They see their friends having relationships and they'll do just about anything to have somebody on their arms. That is a dangerous cycle. Because what you're doing is you're not even doing your due diligence. You're just picking anybody. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. So please stay alert, stay alive. And, it's crazy. I remember on What's Love Got to Do with It years ago, they had a scene in the movie with Angela Bassett playing Tina Turner. And there was 2 scenes in that movie that stuck with me, that resonated with me. When Lawrence Fishburne, he said to Tina Turner or to Angela Bassett, he said, "I'm in here, anime. I'm in here." And he was poking his head. In other words, he was telling her, I'm inside of your brain. I'm so intricately woven in your head that you can't leave me. You're nothing without me. And once a man or a person tries to get in your head and tries to psychologically make you feel that there's not only nothing better for you, but you ain't going nowhere because I got your mind. Brothers and sisters, your mind is the best commodity you got going for yourself. And if somebody is that psychotic to get in your mind, they're able to control your life. Brothers and sisters, I hope this message blessed you. I hope you are more aware of the dangers and the pitfalls of psychological warfare on the domestic level. And I want you to realize and be alert where if God so loves you, do you really think that he wants you to be abused, used, and in a place of danger? Absolutely, positively not. Brothers and sisters, some people stay because of the children. Some people stay because of the money. Some people stay because of the sex. Whatever your vice is or reasoning for staying, it's not worth your life. Bless the true and living God.